happy Tuesday. For me, it feels like a Monday. I'm coming off of Thanksgiving, which in Canada was this past weekend. So for me, I have topics like gratitude top of mind. So I've written a couple of posts and emails this week about gratitude, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about the role in gratitude in healing anxiety and why it can be so important, and specifically how it's connected to your limbic system, which nobody really talks about in relation to anxiety. And this can absolutely be a big, huge missing link for people around healing anxiety. This is actually something that I talk about in my 12-week program, the Holistic Anxiety Fix. We actually start out right with the limbic system and go into gratitude because it's such an important way to reframe the brain. So, if you are struggling with negative looping thoughts and, you're thinking to yourself, I should be able to think like this, or I should stop thinking negatively, or I should feel gratitude. Often what that does is it actually leads to more feelings of guilt and shame because you can't seem to get your brain to think in the way that you want it to. I know this was absolutely the case for me when I tried to start a gratitude practice and I was pretty sick. And I bought this 5-minute gratitude journal and I was really excited about it. And I found I kept saying the same thing over and over again, which was I was grateful for my bed. That was the big one I was grateful for. And I knew there was this whole world beyond me to be grateful for. And I really, really struggled to have those feelings of gratitude. And I'd heard from so many people around me that gratitude could be such a healing practice. And yet I really struggled to connect with it because all I felt was anxiety about everything, panic about everything, and then I started to become worried when my nervous system would be set off and when it wouldn't, and could I do this without being anxious, and could I do that without being anxious, and all of a sudden there wasn't a lot of space in my brain to experience gratitude. And for a lot of people, the missing link can actually be the limbic system. And so what happens for a variety of reasons is that the limbic system becomes damaged, and it can become damaged through trauma, it can become damaged through mold exposure, it can become damaged from a lot of different reasons. And what it will actually do is it will cause you to start looping around very, very anxiety producing thoughts. So your brain sort of forgets about all of the positive memories that are out there. Your brain forgets that, you can experience these emotions like gratitude and joy and happiness. And instead, you're stuck on this worry loop. So if we think about the limbic system is part of our older sort of brain. And it's very sort of basic. It's basic in structure, and it's to prevent us from being harmed. And so it starts to fire when we think there's something that's worrisome. And so what happens when the limbic system is damaged is that it will start to fire for reasons that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a threat. For example, for me, one of the reasons that I started to have heart palpitations to Master Chef is because my limbic system got confused and I thought, oh my goodness, she's getting excited watching the show. It must be a major threat. And then those heart palpitations came. And so what happens when the limbic system overfires is you're constantly thinking of worries, and your brain is constantly, almost subconsciously, trying to prevent you from being injured. And so what happens then is that you can't think of these positive memories or these positive experiences. And so if you're somebody who really struggles, like I did, to have these feelings of gratitude, or the big one that I like to say is, can you think of 4 positive memories? And you would be surprised at the number of women who come through my program who really struggle with this. And if this is you, if you're struggling to think of positive memories or really struggling to find those things that you have gratitude for, then what's actually probably underneath the surface is limbic system damage. And when you heal the limbic system, what ends up happening is you're pressing pause on the limbic system looping, and you're reminding the brain that there's all these other memories and positive emotions there that then you can fully experience. And so it's a really interesting way to reframe your anxiety as an expression of the limbic system, because what it's doing is it's actually activating your stress response all the time. So, if this is something that really resonates for you, if you're like, oh my goodness, I can't think of 4 positive memories, or gratitude practice is actually, I don't want to admit it, but it's a struggle for me, then just write a comment below that says, this is me, or limbic system, and let me know that it's something that you're struggling with, because there are a percentage of women with anxiety where this is the root cause. And, it's a brain issue. It's actually starting to be seen as a brain injury, much like any other brain injury that you might get from a car accident or something like that. So it's not that there's something wrong with you, it's that you actually have to heal the injury in your brain in order to start experiencing your life differently. So let me know if you can think of 4 positive memories below, and stay tuned as I join you again later this week.